I'm standing in the village of Llandrillo in North Wales. The story goes that on a January night in 1974, the whole village was woken by a tremendous shaking. There were lights above the village, beyond a forest. A nurse, Mrs. Evans, rushed to the telephone box to contact the police. She thought, possibly, that an aircraft had crashed. Mrs. Evans and her daughters decided to go up and investigate to see if they could offer assistance. What they saw was a throbbing, brilliant light sat there. There seemed to be lights all around, coming out of the sky. It was within a matter of hours that the authorities had got onto the scene. The whole area was cordoned off. Rumours spread. Rumours of a UFO crash. It hit the mainstream. It made the newspaper headlines. But only today, 30 years later on, the Ministry of Defence and the authorities, the powers that be, released documents relating to this fascinating incident. The village of Llandrillo is located between the towns of Berwyn and Bala in north-east Wales. It is overshadowed by the Berwyn range of mountains. As I visit here on a Sunday, it seems totally quiet. Most people are resting, having worked throughout the week on farming around this area. And this is the phone box where Mrs. Evans made that call. I'm walking along this unadopted road. If I was to continue walking, I would eventually be taken to a single track that leads up the side of the mountain. Berwyn. It's been established that the incident, whatever it was, occurred a little bit further down the range. Berwyn. Pretty inaccessible place at the best of times, but in January it would have been very, very difficult to get there quickly. Llandrillo is, of course, right in the heart of mythical and mystical Wales. There have been reports over the centuries of the hounds of hell, ghostly type creatures appearing in the sky. Also flying dragons. Well, we are in Wales after all. But does that give us a clue? Is this, and has it always been, a hotspot for UFO activity? The report that was released this very week stated that it was simply an earthquake in conjunction with shooting star activity. I'm not quite sure of the odds on that, but they must be pretty decent and worth a pound. I think you'd be rich. Of course, this incident, which is referred to now as the Welsh Roswell, has been the subject of theories, counter-theories, and of course investigations. Many investigations over the years. Over 30 years. Though nothing official. What do we know? Well, we know the bare facts. There was a rumbling across the village, there seemed to have been an explosion of some sorts. There were strange lights coming from Cadair Bronwyn, and there were also lights coming out of the sky. There were rumours that 5 bodies were taken from that area, that British elite forces were quickly on the scene. Further investigations across the country revealed more evidence, possibly, or certainly more rumour. The bright light had been seen as far as Shropshire, coming down onto Cadair Bronwyn. Rumours of a incident, a scrambling of RAF jets from RAF Valley over Puffin Island on Anglesey. One report suggested that there had been a dogfight of sorts. Had therefore one of the UFOs been hit? Had it eventually crashed into the Berwyn Range? And had another UFO, the throbbing light that was simply sat there, come down to offer assistance to its injured partner? What we do know is that all the speculation has been kept hush-hush as far as the authorities are concerned. They have sat on the evidence for 30 years plus. And this week we seem to have had an absolute raft of disclosure. Churchill, apparently, witnessed a UFO, kept under wraps for 50 years, for fear of what it would do to the population and to our way of life. You know what, there is one question bugging me, and it's this. If it was simply natural causes, an earthquake, shooting stars, why then was all the information kept secret for 30 years? It's a simple question, but I think we may be waiting another 30 years for the answer. I think there are 2 possible scenarios here. The first is that it was an unexpected event as far as the authorities were concerned. A UFO had crashed into the side of a mountain. A second UFO had joined it in order to see if they could rescue their fellow beings. The second scenario, slightly more worrying. Was battle met over Puffin Island? Was a UFO hit? Did it start to crash land? And did the authorities track it all the way to the Berwyn mountain range? Did a second UFO land to offer assistance to its stricken comrades? And was that beaten off by the British elite forces? Were the bodies recovered from that alien craft? Was this indeed a close encounter of the third kind? Well, I'm now on my way back into the village of Llandrillo. It's been a trek to try and discover what really happened. What happened? That's all we really want to know, isn't it? Is there something beyond us here, beyond our humdrum lives? Is something being kept from us? Is there technology out there that was recovered from the crash site that they are preventing us from using? Llandrillo, the Welsh Roswell, was a sleepy village. It remains sleepy today, but on that night in January, it was certainly woken up. Goodbye from Peter, goodbye.